My wife has a YouTube channel about makeup. She loves posting videos about it, creates little tutorials, and that's why the light is very important for her. She bought soft boxes, she created a full studio at home, but the only thing that she doesn't have and she really wanted to have was a ring light. Apparently this would help her a lot about the colors, but I think that secretly she hopes that this is gonna help her stop dropping stuff. Well, if you know me, you know I'm cheap, and before I spent 200 bucks on a new ring light, I wanted to try and make one myself. So this is my attempt. So first I cut the actual ring out of masonite. The internal diameter is 14 inches, the external is 18. The internal opening I had to cut with the jigsaw, but for the external I could use the bandsaw. Then I cut the stand. And I cut a notch in it for the ring. Holds it like that. Huge badminton racket. I gave it a little shape on the sander. And then I had to make the bottom piece. I was too lazy to pull out the router, that's why I went only halfway here, and then I drilled the center hole for the bar. And then I finished the external cut on the bandsaw. It wasn't very smooth, but I could finish it on the sander, and it became like done on the router. Then I shoved the bar in, it fit perfectly, and all the parts were ready. Now I needed to have 16 inches to the center of the circle. That's because the lens of the camera is gonna be right there. And then I could glue the support together. And for the ring I drilled 2 small holes and ran 2 little screws there to hold it. I bought 20 huge LEDs from eBay, and now I needed to spread them on even distance around the circumference of the circle. So I needed to do some math here. As we know, the circumference equals the diameter times pi. So the circle that I wanted the LEDs to lay on was with a diameter of 15 3/4, so that times 3.14 divided by 20. And I found out that my LEDs must be approximately 2.5 inches apart. I used a drop of super glue on the back side of each LED, and I just super glued them on the ring. The funny part was that they don't sell one by one LEDs, they sell packages of 10, but when they arrived, they were all packed separately in a poly bag with a barcode, which is huge waste of material and bad for the environment, you know. Then I took a long piece of copper wire and I soldered it to the negative side of each LED around the circle. So I forgot to mention that when I glued them on the ring, I paid extra attention so they are in the same direction, with the negative side out and the positive pointing to the center of the circle. Then I soldered another piece of wire to the positive terminal of each LED. And the distance between the first and the last LED was just enough for the stand to sleep in. And next I tested it. And it was extremely bright. I also drilled two small holes for the wires to pass through, because I didn't want them to stick on the front of the ring. So I passed them through the holes and I soldered them to the copper wire. And this is what it looked like little stars. Okay, so the next thing to do was to install the dimmer that I got from eBay. Actually, I got 3 of them, brand new, $3 each, very expensive. Perfect for a cheap guy like me. That's the little dimmer and the remote control. I read the manual, even though it was a pretty straightforward thing, and I started installing it. It has 2 wires for input and 2 wires for output, red and black. Really pretty straightforward thing. So I hooked the wires, I soldered them, isolated, and turned it on. And surprise, it doesn't work. The light was very dim and always on. I couldn't even turn it off, I couldn't change the levels, I couldn't change the modes, nothing. The small light on top of the remote was turning on when I was pressing buttons, which means the battery was okay, so I decided to check the manual once again. I couldn't find anything helpful, so I decided to see the second one. I said, okay, for $3 maybe this one is faulty, so let me check the second one. Exactly the same thing. Dim light and nothing can be changed. So I already knew what was gonna happen with the third one, but just for the hell of it I decided to try. It was exactly the same result. So honestly, if you see that in eBay, don't buy it. It's a piece of garbage. Don't buy it. Anyways, my wife was happy with the light as it is. She said that she doesn't need dimmer, so I just connected it without any dimmer, and it works perfectly. So that's why I needed it to be 16 inches to the center, because the lens of the camera is 16 inches above the table. That's my wife's studio, and now I'm gonna turn it on. Yep, and the camera got confused. And that's my beautiful face with the ring light. Now I'm gonna turn it off. That's without the ring light, only with the 2 soft boxes. And with the light again. I'm happy I saved $200. Actually, I saved $190 because I spent $10 for the faulty dimmers. But anyways, sometimes being cheap is expensive, you know. But my wife's happy too, and now she's gonna stop dropping stuff. Hehehe.